Hey guys, it's Serge for Tesla Fan. So it's been a long time since my last video, but well, vacation time happened and other things kept me very busy. But I just wanted to let you know that I am back, and I want to give you my quick initial reactions to the Tesla Artificial Intelligence Day that happened just a couple of days ago. Now, a lot of people have covered this day already. You might have heard some announcements like the Tesla Bot. What I want to do is talk about what is specific to European markets and Switzerland, and specifically in what they announced. So that's basically what I want to focus on. So first, let's talk about the Tesla Bot. So in my opinion, that was a little bit of a PR stunt by Tesla. Smart one, because the whole objective of that presentation was to recruit AI engineers and show them, what Tesla is up to and how they can lead the pack. So presenting that project was, I think, mostly a smart move to try to interest people, and of course a very smart move in terms of guerrilla marketing, because it worked perfectly. Everybody relayed that. Now, do I think it's a serious project at this point? I'm not sure. It looks a little bit like they're testing the waters. We'll see if that actually worked for them or not. If I compare this to the Cybertruck was a similar project where they were definitely testing the waters, and that worked really well. So who knows? Maybe Tesla Bot will pick up some steam, but I'm not sure. Okay, I had to move indoors. It started raining. Well, indoors, inside the Tesla, of course. So the Tesla Bot, as I was saying, is probably mostly a PR move by Tesla. Even Elon Musk was clearly not that confident on the applications. He would not go into the details of that. So my thinking is that they don't really have strong use cases for it. They're really starting to experiment there. Now, of course, it does make sense that they broaden the scope of the artificial intelligence Dojo platform. So it's not too specific to cars. So I think that's also maybe something that they're looking at. But all in all, I don't think the Tesla Bot is a big focus right now, or should it be? At least I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, in terms of what this means for Switzerland, I don't think this thing is coming to Switzerland anytime soon, because they don't even have a prototype. So anyway, that's for the subject of the Tesla Bot. Before I go any further, there are a lot of you watching these videos that are not yet subscribed, so it would mean the world to me if you guys could join the subscriber base. It would really help the channel, and also, of course, you would get notified when I release my next video. And I hope you appreciate all the content. It really helps to see how many people love this. Your comments are great, and I really appreciate. Keep them coming. Now, one of the very interesting things that Tesla presented was the chip for the Dojo Computer. And of course, that's very important, because what that means is that Tesla is heavily investing in having the whole stack. And basically what that means is that they will be very competitive in terms of owning the whole stack, all the way down to the silicon. That means that not many people will be able to compete with them, at least on that level. And also, Elon Musk did say that his idea was to be able to license the usage of the Dojo Computer. So they're not keeping this necessarily to themselves, which is also a smart move. Basically, same thing is happening with the supercharger network, where they said they would open it to others, and it seems like that's happening. Now, with the supercharger network, there can be some downsides to that, because it means you're then sharing the network with others. But with the Dojo Computer, I can only see that as a positive thing, and makes a lot of sense to me. Again, here, this has no impact on Switzerland specifically. Okay, so for FSD Beta, or FSD in general, that's the subject I really want to get to about Switzerland. So FSD Beta was something that we were wondering if we would get in Europe anytime soon. And there was a very interesting question that Elon Musk addressed at the end in the Q&A session, Q&A part, was whether they were training for Europe or other countries outside of the USA. And Elon Musk actually gave an answer that was a little bit of a disappointment, but in a way was reasonable and to be expected, was that they were focusing right now on the market that they are in, which, I mean, in developing this technology, which is the US. And he mentioned the fact that even in Canada, there are different rules and things like that. So unfortunately, what this means is that it's gonna be a while until we see FSD, I would say full FSD in Europe and in Switzerland. FSD Beta, it depends really on the regulators, because basically if the regulators accept the fact that you have like something that people are still controlling, that could happen maybe sooner, but they will still need to train the network for Europe, so and Switzerland. So it remains to be seen how much of that they've already done. And so I think that good scenario, we're looking at end of the year, maybe early next year for a beta. I doubt it would happen earlier than that. And bad scenario, we're looking at years of dealing with regulators, so that could take a long time. So yeah, it's really, hopefully people will get on the bandwagon of this, and as other manufacturers are also coming out with cars that are more and more autonomous, there will be more pressure to have these things regulated. Now, also I can point you to a really good channel by Stephen Peters, who's really the expert in regulation in Europe. If you want to go check out the latest into what he's following and tracking, it's a great source of information. I get most of my information about regulations in Europe from his channel, and I highly recommend it. One thing that was really interesting is how they presented the fact that there's a difference between the vision part and then the actual planning and I forgot how they called it, but basically controlling the car. So the vision part is a part that can be easily adapted to a lot of different countries, because you basically have the data sets and the recordings of all the cars on the road. And so we already see the FSD preview in the cars in Switzerland. That actually works, and it's working better and better all the time. So they can actually do a large part of the vision part very easily. Now, where it becomes more difficult is all the traffic stuff when you're actually controlling the car outside of highways. And here, one of the challenges is the different rules. I was just driving the other day at an intersection where we had two roads that were crossing, and both had basically the same importance in terms of roads. There was not a primary and secondary. They were both, let's say, primary ones. And so here, basically, what we have is a rule where basically it's the priority to the right, meaning that if you have no car to your right, you may go first. In the US, the equivalent of that is four-way stops. And so that's a big difference. That means that basically the programmers of the FSD actually have to handle those differences. And I don't think machine learning can do that. I think those things are actually, they talked a lot about implementing things in C++. And I think that's one of the things they meant about that, is that those are rules that are actually baked into the system. And those rules will have to be adapted for each country. Well, at least each region, but even some countries have differences there. So that might take some time, and that might take some adaptation also. So that's the thing where we'll have to see how fast Tesla can adapt to different locations. I'm sure they know they have to do that, but of course they're going to focus on first getting the system up to a high level of quality before actually localizing it to different regions. All right, so in conclusion, definitely an interesting topic, very interesting presentation. There was a lot of information. To be honest, I'm not that well versed in machine learning. I didn't get all of that, but definitely, if you wanted to go deep and actually go into the details, you could. So that's really interesting. I also noticed something really weird, is that in the Q&A session, it seemed like Elon was not answering all the questions. So I wasn't sure if he was tired or if he was, avoiding some of the questions. He also had the same question over and over about the Tesla Bot. So I think that kind of drove him a little bit nuts. But, I don't know if you watched the event. Let me know what you think in the comments about his reactions and the Q&A. I'd love to know what you thought about it, but I definitely thought like he was like either getting angry or tired, or it wasn't clear what was going on there. But I could definitely understand both. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. So sorry you had to wait for so long, but I promise I'll try to do better in the next time. And also, please, if you like this video, make sure to put a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I release the next one. And of course, don't hesitate to share them. It's always a great pleasure. And of course, if you're interested in buying one of these cars, I highly recommend you use a referral code. You'll get free supercharger miles, and so will I. So I always appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who has already used my referral code to order the cars. I hope you guys love them. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments.